Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon FBA business for sale in the baby care niche. Created in August 2014, this business makes $5,398 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 46304. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Shireen, thank you for coming on here today. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, and I'm very excited to discuss this business with you. But before we dive into the questions that I have for you, I want to go ahead and run through a little quick summary of the business. Again, it was built in August of 2014, has a monthly revenue of $18,581, expenses of $13,184 to make for a net profit of $5,398, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the Seller Central account with 5 SKUs, domain and all site content and files, social media accounts, trademarks, and content relating to brand. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price. Further details can be provided to active depositors. Shireen, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. Actually, I do this FBA business on the side. I'm actually a chiropractor. And what got me interested in doing or selling on Amazon back in 2014 was just from the success we had with selling products related to our niche and our business here in terms of selling low back supports and cervical pillows, which are neck pillows, knee braces, what have you, related to conditions that could actually help my patients. And we found that, selling on Amazon was very successful. So my wife and I thought it might be a good idea to look into other things too, because we do have young children. And we thought, get into something that we know and that we're having experience with and that we could help other young parents in learning about. So we started selling products in the baby niche and took it from there.
And you've been very successful building this business, as you said, on the side here. So why have you decided to sell it today?
Well, it's because my other business, my chiropractic business, is also exploding. And we're planning on opening up another 2 practices. And just right now, want to focus on that and keep the efforts towards building this business, which is kind of what who I am. I'm a chiropractor and really focus on that.
Well, congrats. I'm glad that your medical practice is going well for you. And this business definitely has been going well. I mean, if you look over the last several years, you notice the general trend has been upward. With that said, there are, a little up and down throughout the last year, namely in Q4 of last year. Can you explain what happened there at the end of the year?
Sure. We had to deal with a lot of changes in terms of we're establishing who in general we're going to take care of our overseas shipments and our freight forwarding and dealing with the new imposed tax tariffs and things like that. So there was a little bit of uncertainty going forward in terms of what was going to stick and what was just talk and what was just politics. And so we decided to figure all that out and focus on figuring that out first before we started reordering products again and dealing with inventory and all that. And then, back in the beginning of 2019, we established what the rules were going to be, what was moving forward, what the tariffs actually meant, and what we were getting taxed on. And that was the major obstacle to answer your original question, was dealing with the tariffs and dealing with, okay, if we can't handle these tariffs and be profitable, there's no sense of doing this business. So we figured out that that's not the case at all. And we understood what the tariffs were and how it related to managing our costs. And we're right back in business.
Clearly, because you turned around and had a killer January. So, I mean, things are, like I mentioned before, looking up. So can you explain, the current state of the business and what it takes from you, the owner of the business, to run it?
Jake, it's really interesting because it doesn't really take much time at all. We don't spend any time on this business. It's kind of a reactionary business, to be honest with you, because like I said before, I'm focused on my other business more than anything and doing all the things that I should be doing for this FBA business, which is Instagram marketing and Facebook ads, all kinds of different content creation, which we have done and implemented into our FBA listings. But to really answer your question, what we focused on is, like I said, a reactionary business. So, for example, we react to when we get a good review. we react to when we get a negative review, and understand why we get a negative review if it's not warranted, if it doesn't make any sense. And as most people know, on Amazon, Amazon is very focused on the buyer satisfaction rather than the seller satisfaction. But if you do things the right way and you can navigate through Seller Central very efficiently and talk to the right people in Seller Central customer service, then you could pretty much get all the things you need and all the problems solved pretty quickly and pretty efficiently. So one of the things that we do, we pretty much spend 5 hours a week, is if I see a review come in, I thank the person for providing a review, and I valued their business because they did purchase from us, and then try to figure out if it's a negative review or not a 5-star review, how we can fix the problem. And we do that through looking at the review and seeing if we can identify their name and pulling it through up another software that we use that's called Managed by Stats. And through Managed by Stats, they're able to pull up their name and order number and click on a link, and then we could actually directly contact them through Seller Central. That's one part that we do. And we don't do that every day because we don't get reviews every day. It's whenever they come in. And mostly it's positive reviews that come in. So there's not much to do when you get a positive review. You just accept that and move on. Also, what we've learned to do is when we get seller feedback on the delivery of the item and how that went, did it arrive on time? Was it packaged cleanly? Was there any damaged items or anything like that? Usually, we have a pretty clean 5.0 rating there for 5 years, which is pretty stellar, mainly because we're FBA and Amazon is responsible for fulfilling all of our deliveries and returns and all that kind of stuff. But another part of what we do actively is when we do get a product review as a seller feedback, we try to encourage that the person who's writing the product review to actually switch that over to the product review page, because they've actually written a product review rather than comment on delivery of the item and how effective and efficient was communicating with the seller and all that kind of stuff, which is what seller feedback is for. But some customers get confused and they provide a review for the product, and we try to encourage them to transfer their words without asking them to do it directly. We have to do it in a certain way so they can give us a product review. Obviously with people who are happy with the product, and some of them respond, some of them don't, but it's definitely worth the effort. And everything else that we do is just related to reordering stock when we're out of inventory. That's pretty much all we do. And that's done every quarter or whenever we're at that time where we have to reorder inventory so we don't run out. And that's pretty much it. Sometimes there are other random things that come up that basically require seller knowledge of Seller Central and navigating through certain issues that are, I think, beyond the scope of this interview. There's just so much to know. But other than that, if we spend 5 hours a week, that's if. It's just those things, basically.
And it's very clear from everything that you were talking about that you're very concerned with providing a good experience for your customers and having good communication there. And so you would, just to clarify, to put a number on it, you'd say no more than 5 hours per week on this business.
That's being aggressive. Sometimes, it's more than that during certain times. If you're dealing with your suppliers and trying to get shipments straight, and that time of the business is always a little bit more involved. However, on the day-to-day aspect, you just kind of watch things sell, and that's it, really. There's really not much to do because we've built this business really solidly in terms of its foundation. You look at every single listing, like I said, like you mentioned before, Jake, everything is trademarked, which allows us to get the enhanced brand registry 2.0, which is the most advanced enhanced brand registry through Amazon. What that allows a seller to do is to add extra content, images, and even most recently, now you could put video on there. So, we took special attention to copywriting and writing really well and clear and explaining what the product is all about and adhering to our customer base and trying to help as much as possible so no confusion, to really describe our product and why it stands out, why it's special, why it would really help them, and really become problem solvers and provide and try to, because we're parents too. Everybody in our company, we were all parents, my wife and I. So we know kind of firsthand what a lot of these potential customers already thinking and what their problems are and what they struggled with and what makes their lives miserable as it did ours with our children. So from things as common as, potty training and sleeping and the basic things that every parent deals with, we try to hone in on those issues and bring products to the table that focus on those major milestones, what have you, infant and toddler stage. And it's always easier for the parent to look at a listing and watch a video and try to understand without really trying to study and see what's going on with this product? What does it do? How can it help me? We lay that out very clear and with so much content that eliminates essentially any confusion. Images are professional. The videos are professional. The copyright is well thought out and organized. So, like you said, in terms of the other communication as well, we really try to communicate and make the customer really happy and satisfied and comfortable with their purchase and dealing with us. And that's why we've been so successful.
You've built this business on such a strong foundation, as you said. So what do you feel are the major opportunities for growth here that you would focus on if you were to keep it?
Oh man, there's so much opportunity for growth. Because we picked a great product, it sort of sells itself. But I think that we only selling to the Amazon community and customers. I mean, pretty much the Amazon community can be reached through any social portal. I'm talking about Facebook ads. I'm talking about Instagram advertising, social media in general. We haven't really done it all. It's because, like I said, I have my other profession, and the social media part is what actually is going to add time to the 5 hours or whatever we're doing right now, which frankly, any new buyer would really, if they honed in on that, could blow this up and really make it much more than it is right now. And a big part of that is building a customer base, which would mean establishing a solid email list and doing that through Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising, just promoting the company, the business in general, and the fundamentals of everything we establish. I mean, there's so many ideas and fundamentals about the different stages and milestones in the toddler and infant stage that we implement in our content, that there's just so much information that could be thrown out to the public that they could not just, even if they choose not to buy, they could just learn, and we'd be just a trusted brand. So in that sense, when you become that trusted brand and build that email list, it's almost like an easy way to launch even newer products if they choose to, because of that trusted brand, because we're giving away free, valuable information through our content and through Facebook ads and through what have you. So I think in that, if you look at it from that sense, which we haven't done, except with our content, our Amazon listings, there's a massive opportunity and potential. In addition, everybody shops on Amazon for everything. The Amazon model that you go on there and you're looking for any item, any everyday item, any household item, and you'll find big company sellers, you'll find companies that you've never heard of, and you'll always see companies that you're not familiar with. And we really take this business very seriously. We take the quality of our products seriously. We take the integrity of our products seriously. We take and value our customers' opinion. And we just want to make sure that they know and they understand that they're buying high quality products from a legitimate invested company. So we built a really nice website that is also a potential opportunity. And we built it on a Shopify platform. And it's actually a theme. It's built on a theme, the same theme that one of the top Shopify stores in the world that's making, I think they made about $30 million in their store last year. And I think they're a $60 million business. And we have a copy of their theme, of course, with their permission. And we took a course with them and all that kind of stuff. And we learned how to put the best possible functioning website theme for highest profitability, highest reorder value, and customer acquisition. And we sent zero traffic to that website. And it's also integrated with Amazon as well, by the way. So if you wanted to have people pay for their products through the Amazon portal, that's another discussion I can go over with any potential seller, how that works. But we send zero traffic to that website. An additional way that this business can be blown up is just by using that website. Also tied to that website is a very elaborate Google Analytics platform, which we also incorporated with this website and got from this $60 million business top Shopify store. So we took a course basically, and they showed us their blueprint, their Google Analytics blueprint, their setup. I mean, we copy and pasted everything. So the reports are elaborate. They're very easy to understand where your customers are on your website, what they're clicking on, how much time they spend, everything about their experience with this elaborate website so you can understand how to make changes, what to do with in terms of understanding their behavior. So understanding their behavior is a big part of editing your website and making changes. And they've done that to a T. And that's why it's built upon customer behavior and the ultimate way of increasing your profits and making the maximum value per transaction and per purchase. So this website is a huge, huge asset and part of this business, and will really do well once it's used in the right way and once traffic is sent to it.
Do you feel like there are any potential risks associated with owning this business that a new owner should be aware of?
Not really. I mean, not that I'm aware of or that I can comment on, because just like our business, I mean, everybody knows that the Amazon platform, you can't get higher traffic from any other source on the planet. I mean, since its inception, I think it started around in 1994 as a online bookstore, 1998, something like that. They've grown, I mean, exponentially, not just year to year, but quarter to quarter. It seems like they just can't be stopped. So in terms of if this place gets the most traffic and you put your stuff in front of, people's eyes where most of the traffic on earth is, the risk is very low. It's a very high value proposition to do that. So as far as I'm aware of, there's no risk.
It's as you mentioned, I mean, Amazon is the largest buying pool that's pretty much ever existed. So, I mean, you're kind of right on the nose right there.
I mean, in addition to that, with what we've experienced is repeat buyers in terms of, is there a risk specifically with our niche and our business, our FBA business? We've noticed that we get a lot of repeat buyers because of our products that parents would possibly need multiples of. And then they refer other parents because, frankly, when you discover something that helps you while you're raising your children through those different, very difficult and challenging stages, you're just going to keep talking about it. And you're going to refer your friends and family, coworkers, what have you, to sort of grab onto your success and make it easy for them. So in that sense, it's been also, the wheel kind of turns itself and the risk is also very low, because the baby niche is always going to be something that you could always advertise to parents and make their lives easier. I mean, I don't want to say this outright, but parents are almost willing to buy anything, young parents, to make their lives easier, especially young mothers, we've noticed.
Yeah, and the baby niche will always be around too. So would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And how much support are you willing to offer a new owner during the transition period?
It depends. I mean, I'm willing to provide maybe a Skype phone call or two and 30 days email support.
Are you open to negotiating on something like an earnout where potentially a percentage of the proceeds from the sale would be paid out in the next coming months rather than all of it up front?
No.
Thank you very much, Shireen, for taking the time with me today. My final question for you, if you were looking at this business from the perspective of a potential buyer, why would you feel like it is an asset worth buying?
Just like we've been talking about, the baby niche will never go away. Amazon is super, super strong right now and for the foreseeable future. And if you look around on Amazon and look at every listing that's available with whatever you're buying, whether it's from a big brand or a brand like ours or any medium to small size business brand, it will be very, very difficult. And I would almost challenge anybody to find a listing as clean and professional and elaborate as our listing, with enhanced brand content and the kind of copyright we have and images and video. I mean, all of our listings are just professional and super stellar, A+. So in that sense, when you put even more traffic with social media and that foundation in front of people, it's really hard to lose. It's a win-win situation. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. Shireen, thank you very much for taking the time with me today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, Jake. Thanks for interviewing me. I appreciate that.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing site and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you. You'll be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.